Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for coming. We're going to start today's events with the raising of the American flag and the singing of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Order! Up!
All right, a big thank you to our honor guard and Commander Betsy Westbrook for the singing of the national anthem. I want to welcome everyone here, as it's probably the largest crowd we've had for this event. I would like to recognize a few people here in attendance today. I'd like to start by recognizing Lisa Vakoff, Dylan's mother, Megan Esslinger, Dylan's girlfriend. Thank you. I'd like to recognize our city council, beginning with Mayor Mark Williams, council members Lauren Simpson, Lisa Smith, Randy Moorman, John Marriott, Bob Pfeiffer, and I would like to recognize our city management and city manager Lori Gillis. I would like to recognize all the teams that came out today to support us. I would also like to recognize the Arvada Fire Department for their support and their being here today. This day has come to mean a lot more to the Arvada Police Department in the previous years, unfortunately. But this day is incredibly important, and this coming month and week, even more important. It was in 1962 that President Kennedy proclaimed May 15th as National Peace Officer Memorial Day, and the calendar week in which it falls as National Police Week. Established by a joint resolution of Congress in 1962, Police Week pays special recognition to those law enforcement officers who have lost their lives in the line of duty for the safety and the protection of others. Today we will have several speakers. We will start with Mayor Mark Williams, followed by Chief Ed Brady. We will then have playing of taps by Sergeant Aaron Murphy of the Arapahoe County Sheriff's Office. And then Lieutenant Paul Carroll will play Amazing Grace.
Thank you. It is truly touching to see the number of people who are out here this year. You know, I've had the opportunity over the last few years to make some comments at this memorial. And in previous years, prior to last year, we recognized two officers who we had lost back in the 70s. And we felt fairly isolated from the type of trauma that has been going on nationwide for many, many years. But then, in the last 2 years, tragedy has struck our community in ways that we never thought possible. And what I come away from this with is how devoted the citizens of Arvada, the city team, your city council, how strongly we stand behind our police department. As David Jones said at one meeting, you've got our back and we've got your back. And it's so important that we remember each and every day what our officers do for us, how they protect us, how they go into harm's way, how they go into the struggle so that others can escape. We are so grateful for our police department. I am so grateful to our city council, our city team, and our citizens for continually backing this incredible department, the men and women who serve us and protect us each and every day. Thank you.
Robert Bechtel, July 28, 1961. Walter Michael Northey, August 13, 1979. Gordon Beasley, June 21, 2021. And Dylan Vakoff, September 11, 2022. Words often link these officers when we remember and mention their names. Words used to describe their deaths such as devastating, heartbreaking, sudden, and tragic. If we were to live the rest of our lives and work the rest of our careers only using those words to describe the significant loss of Robert, Michael, Gordon, and Dylan, we would be dishonoring these men and tearing at the very fabric of what it means to be a police officer. There comes a time after our initial grieving when a peaceful heart will prevail. Then we will begin to describe how these heroes lived instead of how they died. I want to share a quote from Sir Winston Churchill in a speech he gave to England after the Second World War. Churchill said, "Let us go forward together and put the great principles we support to the proof." When Prime Minister Churchill talked about moving forward and putting those principles we support to the proof, what principles did he mean? Well, for our men and women in blue, I believe that he meant compassion, sympathetic consciousness for others' distress, and the desire to alleviate that distress. Courage, the mental and moral strength to venture, persevere, and withstand danger, fear, or difficulty. Fraternity, the love for the man or the woman to your sides, and the willingness to lay down your life in the protection of their life. Integrity, the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles. Justice, the belief in the right and wrong and the desire to bring to justice those who victimize others. Love for your fellow citizens and knowing that you will prioritize your life, their life over your own. And the desire to go out every day and make a difference. We believe we can make a difference, as I am sure those who have gone before us felt. Officer Robert Bechtel was on the Arvada Police Department water rescue team. Robert was on a training day and practicing diving exercises. Robert lost his life when he became entangled underwater. Robert was training for a scenario that may never have come in his career. He was preparing for that one chance to save a life or recover a loved one for a grieving family. Officer W. Michael Northey and his partner arrested a man on a traffic stop for traffic violations and weapon violations. While towing the motorcycle, a passing motorist collided with Michael as he went to get into his patrol car. He later died at the hospital from his injuries. Officer Gordon Beasley was a school resource officer. In June of 2021, Gordon was working in a sector to help out the patrol teams. Gordon responded to a suspicious person's call, and as he was walking through Old Town Square, he was ambushed and fatally shot. Officer Dylan Vakoff responded to a domestic disturbance along with his partner, Officer Daniel Garibay. They ended up in the middle of several people fighting. As the officers tried to break up the fights, a suspect produced a gun and shot one victim. While Dylan was protecting others, he was fatally shot by the suspect. At first blush, you may not see an apparent thread or principle running through these cases. But as you look closer, you will see that each officer was where they were on those fateful days, and each officer was trying to make a difference. Robert Bechtel was training for a day that may never have come in his career. However, if it did, he wanted to make a difference. Michael Northey was on a simple traffic stop that resulted in a gun being taken off the street. Michael wanted to make a difference. Gordon Beasley was working on a day some may have deservedly taken off, his son's birthday. Gordon was working to help his fellow officers and the community. Gordon wanted to make a difference. Dylan Vakoff was responding to a domestic violence call when multiple fights broke out. Dylan did not hesitate to try to stop the physical altercations and protect others. Dylan wanted to make a difference. These men made a difference, and they lived lives worth living. As we live that life and serve our community, our city, and each other, we carry Robert, Michael, Gordon, and Dylan in our hearts. They will never be forgotten, and we will NFQ. We will never quit. Because this is a life worth living, a community worth protecting, and a difference worth making. With the strength of those we remember today, let us go forward together and put those great principles to the proof so that we too can make a difference.
APD, center, jump, base. Present, arms. Present, up. Order, arms. Order, up. Sentinels, post.
While the chief and the mayor were speaking, I saw one more dignitary show up, Dylan's father, Dan. I'd like to recognize him. Thank you for being here. This truly is symbolic of how you have helped the police department over the last several years, each and every one of you, from a supportive city council to city management to all of the city teams. You were there. You make a difference. We'd like to thank you today for coming here and sharing this honor with us, and we'd like to spend some time with you in a reception to follow. This concludes our ceremony, and once again, thank you for supporting the police department in every way that you have. Thank you.